Oh, hey beauties, happy Sunday, welcome back to my channel. I am about to head out very soon, but I have a little bit of time and I got inspired. I was scrolling Instagram and I saw one of my favorite Instagrammers, Claudia at ClaudisCravings. She posts a lot of beautiful pictures of handbags and just aesthetic content in general. Claudia, I applaud all your content. I'm obsessed with all your photos. If you haven't followed her, I mean, this is your cue to do so. But basically, I saw one of her posts. She has started a little series of handbags that she's bought multiples of. I saw the photo of her picotin bags and I was just like, oh my god, this is such a great topic. And I asked her if I could film this video and she said yes. So thank you so much for that. So we are basically here to talk about the handbags I've bought multiples of, and are they actually that great that you need multiples of the same handbag model in your collection? Now let's start with Evelyne bags, because you all know how much I adore an Hermès Evelyne. This is one of my favorite handbag models overall because I think it's effortlessly chic, it's practical in daily life, and I think it just gives the vibes that we want to give in our luxurious equestrian cafe, no? I bought my first Hermès Evelyne back in 2022, I think it was, and I bought this green Hermès Evelyne in the PM size, in the version 3. This is the GM size in the version 2, and then basically to complete the little trifecta here, I obviously had to get the Hermès Evelyne TPM. Right, so it's obvious that I adore these bags. But do we actually need 3? That's the question. And in oh, one fell. Maybe that's the answer. I think in all honesty, if you're an Hermès Evelyne fan, likely you won't need all 3, right? Because, okay, if we put down the TPM for a moment and just talk about the GM and PM. Basically, these 2 bags, if I was to purchase all of these today, would I purchase all 3? No. I think because I purchased them in the order that I did, I still would have purchased all of them regardless, right? Because I started with the green one. This one I basically saw in Vestiaire Collective and I'm like, oh my god, that is such a beautiful bag and it's on such a good deal. So I simply have to buy it. But in all honesty, I think the GM and the PM, you can kind of use them for the same purpose, right? Sure, the GM has a little bit more room, but in reality, I mean, this one is 29 centimeters across, this one is 33 centimeters across. So in those extra 4 centimeters, will that make a world of difference? Enough for you to have both the PM and the GM? Probably not, right? If you need to fit a laptop, then you get the GM. If you don't need to fit a laptop, then you get the PM. But you basically can wear them for the same occasions. So if I was to go back in time, yes, I would still have bought both because I got the brown one and I have been obsessed with this bag ever since because I just adore this color and I adore this mushy leather. I adore that it's the version 2, so it doesn't have the adjustable strap, which I think is a little bit of a faff on the green one. And it's basically just my perfect Evelyne bag and I wear this one so much. If I was to sell one, I probably would sell my PM, and I've thought about it, but every time I think about selling it, I'm just like, not yet, I cannot do it. So then I just keep it, which is, I think, totally fine and fair because they can serve different purposes, even though I don't wear the green one nearly as much as the brown one. But if you are an Hermès Evelyne fan and you're like, would it make sense to have the TPM and a bigger size, either the PM or the GM? I would say yes. I think these 2 are completely different use cases, right? Or style opportunities. Because obviously, if you compare them, I mean, they're worlds apart in terms of kind of the occasions where you would pick to wear the bag, right? This one you can get away with wearing in the evening, even though it's a more casual bag. This one, I would say you can't really get away with wearing it in the evening because it's such a big bag, and because of the casual shape of the bag as well, it looks very out of place for a more kind of dressed up evening occasion. Sure, if you're going out for like a tea in the evening with your friends, grab the Hermès Evelyne, that doesn't really matter. But obviously, you fit a lot less in the TPM. This is a bare kind of essentials bag. This one you can fit essentially your laptop, your living room couch, your kitchen sink, and your neighbor's dog. This one fits everything. It's basically just a bottomless pit of space. and I love it. Like, I think the GM is such a great bag. So if I was having multiples in an ideal scenario, I would probably just have bought these two. And also because I think black and brown are such classic colors and such kind of easy to style and easy to incorporate in a bunch of outfits colors. So multiples in terms of the Evelynes, yes, the teeny tiny one and the large one, yes, I think that makes sense. But having all three, I don't think it makes sense, even though I'm literally the Hermès Evelyne's biggest fan, right? I love this bag so much. But I think in reality, it's not different enough to have all three, even though I think having multiples of the Evelyne could be a good idea, especially if you get them in a bunch of different colors and you like to wear them with a bunch of different outfits and all of that kind of stuff, right? But I think Hermès Evelyne's great, have multiples, but make sure that it makes sense. And this in reality does not make sense, but also I'm not really collecting bags for it just to make sense. You know, I do this for the fun of it all and for the love of beautiful things. So for me, it doesn't really, like, holding this up, like this pile of Hermès Evelynes, like this just makes me happy for some reason. And it's just like, ugh, I just love these things. But it's not necessary to have three, that we can definitely align on. Now to a cult classic in every collector's wardrobe. This is the Chanel Classic Flap. I have the one that I use the most, which is the Chanel Square Mini, which technically is not a Chanel Classic Flap, but I do not buy into that narrative. Then I have my least used Chanel bag, which is my Chanel Jumbo in caviar leather. And then I have my little in-between, which is my 1994 lambskin small 2.55 classic flap with gold hardware, obviously. This one has silver hardware, and this one has the gunmetal or ruthenium or whatever Chanel calls it hardware. I think these are great. I think the one that makes the most sense for me in my collection is probably the little Square Mini, because it works fabulously for crossbody. It's caviar leather, so it's hard wearing, and it's just a beautiful little piece. I don't think it would make sense for me to not have any of these in my wardrobe because they're all so different, which I think is the beauty of a Chanel Classic Flap. You can get them in so many different types of models. I mean, you can get them in different sizes and different colors, and the different sizes give such different vibes, and I think they all serve a reasonable purpose in my wardrobe. So I think, is it necessary to have several Chanel Classic Flaps? Probably not, right? None of these things are necessary. Let's just be honest with ourselves. But I think if you are a fan of the Classic Flap, and if you feel like you can see yourself wearing them in the different sizes and you want to have a little bit of variety in colors and stuff like this, I think the Chanel Classic Flaps are actually one of those that could make sense to have several, especially if you kind of do like me, right? And you have all of the different, or not all of them, but a few of the different sizes, and you've picked a good bunch of colors that you enjoy wearing and stuff like this. I feel like all of these are so different. I mean, there's not one of them that I would be like, no. I mean, this one is too similar, so I wouldn't have it in my collection. I mean, not like we just said with the Evelyne bags, for example. This one, like I said, I wear it the least, but it's just because the size is a little bit awkward. I just haven't gravitated towards it. When I say it's awkward, it's a big bag, but it's not big enough. Or yes, it is big enough, but it's not a bag that I would put like my laptop in, because I would be afraid of like deforming the bag and stuff like this, and that we just don't want. These two, I think, are also so different, and I wouldn't wear them for the same occasion. This is a shoulder bag, this is a crossbody. This one is also a shoulder bag. The crossbody length is just ridiculously long, so that you can't really do. But I think all of these are beautiful. All of these make sense for me to keep in my collection, also because basically all of these are bags that I got for a special occasion. This I got the year of my 20th birthday. This one I got from my parents when I graduated university. And this one I got now this year when I got my new job. So they all kind of have a little bit of sentimental value. I don't think you need several Chanel Classic Flaps, but I think they're a fun one to kind of collect, if that makes sense. So all in all, do I need three? Absolutely not. Will I sell one? Also, absolutely not. And also, can we just talk about the fact that I think we need a little resurgence of Chanel jumbo flaps because they've been out of fashion for a while. That's not at all why I don't wear it, but I just feel like they deserve to have another round in fashion and people being obsessed with them, because I think they're such chic bags and they could do a lot more in the fashion space than they're currently doing. But whatever, let's pivot. The Chanel classic flaps, fun to collect, not necessary at all, right? Obviously, as with all of these things, but I will not sell them. Am I happy to have several? Yes, I am, as a matter of fact. Now, to another cult classic in all collectors' wardrobes. This is the Hermès Birkin. I have two Hermès Birkins. I first off have this Hermès Birkin 30 in Togo in Noir, which we've spoken about quite a bit on my channel recently, so I don't feel like it needs a introduction. This one I haven't really spoken about in a while, but this is my Hermès Birkin in Epsom leather in the size 35 with gold hardware on the gold leather color with white contrasting stitching. Isn't that a mouthful? Do I need two Birkins? I would say I'm happy that I bought both at the time when I got them, because basically back then these were a lot more affordable than they are today. But does one need to have several Birkins in their collection? I would say definitely not. I think with the Birkin, I mean, it's kind of a rite of passage in the fashion community. It's just like, this is the pinnacle of handbags. Everyone needs to own one, but does anyone need to own one at all? No. Does anyone need more than one? I mean, if it's your favorite bag model and you wear it on a daily basis, yes, then great, buy all of them, right? But in reality, does anyone need more than one Birkin? Probably not. At the end of the day, it's a bag. It's a very expensive bag at that, and it's a difficult bag to buy. I would, to be completely honest, say if you want a Birkin, think about which size would work for you the best. Think about which hardware color you would enjoy the most on your bag, and think about which is your absolute favorite color, or a color that you think would go with a lot of your outfits, and then just get that and get one, right? I think, in all honesty, I think that's the most reasonable way to go about buying a Birkin. Don't buy a color just because you're offered one, or don't buy a color just because you see it's a good deal. I mean, maybe do that if you feel like it, right? I'm not telling you what to do and what not to do. But I think in terms of like curating your handbag collection to something that you're just so proud of, just get the one you really, really want and see if you feel like you want more than that. For me, like the endgame Birkin was definitely this one, the black one in Togo leather 30 size with gold hardware. This one I've been obsessed with in phases, basically. I used to wear it from time to time when I went into the office, but I always felt like this is not really an office bag, and this is a big bag, right? I think Birkin 35s are so chic. Oh my god, this is so heavy. Birkin 35s are so chic. I think they give that, oh my god, boss lady, important energy kind of vibe. I think these are a little bit more easygoing in terms of wearing them, like in your day-to-day life. I know a lot of people are fans of the 25 too, but I would not get a 25 because I personally enjoy the option of carrying it comfortably in the crook of my arm. So the 30 size is definitely the smallest that I would go, and the 35 is the biggest size that I would go. So these are two great handbags, but like I said, I don't think anyone needs several Birkins. I think it's a little bit excessive. Oh my god, it got so dark. The sun disappeared. Maybe I won't need sunglasses now when I leave. But no one needs several Birkins. I mean, no one needs a Birkin in the first place. I mean, how many times can I say that? But I'm very grateful to have both of them, and I would not sell any of them. I mean, in fact, if I ran into like another Birkin 30 in a color that I'm like, oh my god, I'm obsessed, like a sapphire blue or a Bordeaux red, then I would probably get one, especially if it came in palladium hardware, because I feel like that would add a different vibe to my Birkin little tiny collection, right? But enough about the Birkins. Another type of bag that a lot of people have, but maybe not specifically these, right, is a wallet on chain. I know that the classic wallet on chain in most people's collection is the Chanel wallet on chain, but I personally opted for the Saint Laurent Envelope Chain Wallet. Now this was a moth to a flame purchase. I don't think I should have bought this, to be completely honest. I got this one first. I was so happy with it, and then I saw this one pop up on a pre-loved website, and I was just like, oh my god, I need it. Should I have bought several? No, just stick to the neutral one that you adore so much and that you wear over and over, and then you'll probably do so well with that in your wardrobe. But I just thought that I needed one more color and one with gold hardware, and then I got this one. But I think because it's such a loud red color, I don't think it makes sense for my style or wardrobe. I've thought about selling it. Every time I kind of thought about it, I was just like, ah, I don't want to sell it. What if I one day need a bright red bag? Then I have this, and that's perfect. I prefer to have just a little bit more bags in my collection and have the variety versus selling them and having a more minimal collection. At least that's my mindset right now, and especially because, I mean, to be quite honest, I don't need the money that I would get from this. That would not make a difference in my life at the moment. Because these, I mean, you don't really get a lot on the pre-loved market. Sure, it's still a lot of money, right? But it's not something that would make a difference. And I say that in the most humble way. I'm very careful with my money, even though it might not look like it. But I would only buy these things if I could buy it like 5 times over. I would not just risk everything to buy a bag, which is also why I'm in a privileged position of not feeling the need of selling them, I guess. But this is great. I adore this envelope chain wallet because basically it's a beautiful color. I think it was called Earth at the time. It's silver hardware. It's a great crossbody bag. It works great as like a little clutch as well. I know, like I said, a lot of people talk about the wallet on chain from Chanel. I don't like that one. I don't like the design for some reason. It doesn't add up in my mind because basically you have the tiny CCs on still quite a big looking bag, right? And I just feel like it looks unbalanced, and I just prefer the proportions of the envelope chain wallet from Saint Laurent, which is why I have this one and which is why I have 2. But I would say you don't need to unless you have the lifestyle for having several clutches, but I don't think I do. So in this case, I would say just get the one that you really want and stick to that. Now lastly, to my little Longchamp bags. These are not really luxury, but I think they're so chic and so effortlessly stylish in a way. And I think they're such great bags and so practical and so like, I don't know, I just adore these. Let's go from biggest to smallest, shall we? This one I wear so much. This one, I mean, my Rimowa Classic cabin luggage, it's broken again, and honestly, I'm just fed up with that luggage, so instead of using the Rimowa Classic cabin luggage, I'm using this, and it's just brilliant. Like, I can fit like up to 3 nights, like a 3-night away stay in this, and it's just fabulous. This is one of the, I think the size is called large in the Le Pliage model. I think it says on the back. Yes, it's the large model in the Le Pliage kind of travel handheld type of bag. And I got it in this gray color, and I think it's just chic, fabulous, and great. And I've gotten so many compliments on this as a travel bag. I think because you have that canvas, but you also have the leather component, it looks a little bit more dressed up, and it looks like a chic option for a travel bag. Now something, if I'm just like, well, I need more space, I don't know, then I usually bring this. This looks tiny, but it's because it's folded up, which is the beauty of basically all Longchamp bags. You can fold them up, and then they take up literally no space. This is the medium size, also in the handheld model, in black with brown hardware. It smells like my travel shampoo because I've had it in my travel bag. It's just great, this little one. Like when I need more space, or if someone that you're traveling with is like, oh my God, I wish I brought another little bag. Like I had that not too long ago, and I was just like, do you want to borrow a chic little Longchamp bag from me? And she was like, oh my God, this is perfect. So you can also be that supportive friend if you have one of these. This is it the medium? Yes, this is the medium. It's so great that they have the little text on the back so that you can check yourself before you wreck yourself. But this one, I think it's super chic because it has that white contrasting stitching. It has that little pop of gold hardware, and it's just a brilliant little bag. And these are just cheap and cheerful, like people used to say on the internet. Now the final little guy is this one. This is my little beach bag. I do not go to the beach often, but when I do, you best believe I bring this one. This one fits all my little essentials that I need to bring to the beach. I mean, obviously not the like towel and blah blah blah, but like a little sunscreen, my phone, like if I want to bring a camera, if I want to bring, I don't know what, like a little cap, everything fits. It has that same brown leather, although this one is a little bit more used, so it looks a little bit more worn in. It has silver hardware, white contrasting stitching, and then obviously that fun little pattern of the pink with a white little polo horsey guy, kind of equestrian pattern. And I think this is just so fabulous. I love this so much. And also if you're gonna go and like have a little lunch or something, you can just take this as your little bag and you're good to go. This one is the small model in the Le Pliage. So I have the small, the medium, and the large travel size. There's also a large like this one, like in terms of like a larger bag, but not the full travel model. So do not get those confused, but I have 3 of these and I think they're so great and they serve different purposes and they're not super expensive, but yet they get the job done and they look chic doing it. So I think they're just so fabulous. Guys, these were all of the bag models that I have multiples of. I think at the end of the day, I have hair on my face. Where is the hair coming from? There we go. At the end of the day, you don't need multiples. You don't need any of these bags, let's be honest, but I think these are great bags that I'm happy to have multiples of. Yes, it's a little bit excessive to have multiples, but I am happy that I have multiples of some of these, especially like we said, the big and small Evelyn. I mean, I'm glad to have the 2 Birkins, the Chanel Classic flaps. It's just little fun candies to pick from. The Le Pliage ones are so practical. Obviously, this one we should have stuck with what we know, but we did not. So now we just have to live with the consequences of our choices. So that's fine. In this case, I'm happy to do so. Do you have multiples of any bags? I would love to know. If you decided on buying multiples of any of these bag models, which would you choose? I would also love to know that. Thank you so much for spending this time and space with me. Now I really need to go. So let me just pack this up and I will let you get back to whatever more productive thing you were doing before watching this video. But once again, thank you for being here. If you made it this far, please leave a little like black heart emoji, because we have a lot of black bags in this collection, which I haven't really noticed before I took them all out and started talking about them. But thank you once again, and until my next video, stay safe, take care, and I will see you soon. Bye.